Fans speak where the plan runs deep. The team grind hard, don't eat, don't sleep. From best ball dreams to DFS streaks, they help you print money every single week. Fans speak. No cap, no gimmicks, we breaking limits. NFL bets, yeah, we live this business. Meg and Steve, that OG vision. Draft room killers on a lifelong mission. More stress to the Sunday spread. Fan speaks, that voice that's inside your head. Best ball, DFS, NFL bets. They built it brick by brick, no regrets. Fan speak team, printing money since day one. Fan speak, forever.
Welcome back to another Best Ball Lunch Break with Talking Ball Steve-O Speak. We are going to get into everything. Not a ton of overall NFL news, though JSN just signed a massive extension, which was expected, but just good to see it got done early. Unlike a lot of teams where, that goes down to the 11th hour. And we will talk about top offenses. That's why I'm starting on this page on, Pro Football Reference. We will talk about top offenses in a second, but let's get to chat. And we have Mike Robb here using Bossy Betsy. Meg down like 14 Red Bulls this morning, extra emojis, posting in streamers chats and Discord. Someone is trying to give Steve more work. Yes, if you noticed, if you are a FanSpeak member, there are some new emojis that you can use as Mike showcases here. We got Money Ain't a Thing in here. Happy Meg Monday. Well, we don't invite Meg on stream. We just draft Scatterboo, Rogers, and Fryman, so she's with us in spirit. Yes, absolutely. Not sure if I'll draft all three, but we'll see. We're going to try and do a couple drafts and check it out. BKG in here. Any thoughts on 5-6-6-3 builds for DK? So yeah, DK is definitely different. I think I haven't done that. I've done a couple 4 quarterback builds. And what I will say, I think it depends. I'm assuming with this, it's like your first 12 picks are running backs and receivers. Maybe not 12, but like 11 of your 12 are running backs and receivers. You take one quarterback there, then 4 other quarterbacks, including some situations that might be like split, like the Falcons take both Tua and Penix, something like that. Take the Browns, take Shador and Watson, something like that. And 3 tight ends, like pretty late. To me, tight ends take a big hit on DraftKings, even more so than drafters. There's only a couple guys who even have a hope to get the 100-yard bonus, and if they get it, it'll be once, maybe twice, if you're super lucky. And those are all guys who kind of go early, and sure, maybe separates them a little bit more than some of the other earlier ones. Like a guy like Sam Laporta probably doesn't have a 100-yard game in him, but guys like McBride, Bowers, Loveland, to an extent, have that upside. I'd even say, like, because Pitts and Laporta go in a similar range, I think Pitts has a much better 100-yard equity than Laporta. But it's tough to do just because you're at best you're talking 1, 2, if you're super lucky, 3 times a tight end hits 300-yard games in a season. So I am pretty late round tight end on DK for sure. But no, I like doing interesting builds, seeing mostly running backup quarterbacks. So yeah, if you get a little lucky and like Fields ends up playing more games, and I would, the other thing I would do with this, I think it's a little risky, but if you do target, I do agree, like target some situations like a Marcus Mariota, where we know he can get 20 plus points in a backup role to Jaden Daniels. And Daniels has dealt with a myriad of injuries. He had 2 his rookie year, didn't miss any full games, but did have 2 injuries his rookie year. Then he had 3 last year. So I would approach it that. I do think you need some projectable starters points. But I will say DK is just kind of the Wild West at times. So doing some weird builds could be fun. It's more likely to work on a site like DK versus like Underdog or even drafters. And if you do load up on those first 10, 11 guys, running backs, receivers, you are getting a ton of projectable, 100-yard bonus, a ton of catches, etc. Paul saying Muth and Bossy Betsy. Yep. I went Warren, likely Njoku, T-Law, Nix, Sanders, Fields, Milton. Yeah, I mean, to mix it up, I'd be interested to see what the running backs and receivers look in that build, just because that is 2 earlier quarterbacks and that is one earlier tight end. So I'm not sure how that would look. So if you feel free to post it, I'd be interested to see how it turned out, running back, receiver, because at the end of the day, that's where quarterbacks score the most in one position. Collectively, running backs and receivers are scoring the most total points. So let's, while we talk about this and other things, let's get into top offenses and offenses we should be targeting, and we should be targeting offenses that are elite. Now, year in, year out, we will see big change. Some big changes. Some teams stay the same. Bills and Lions, I think, have been top 5 teams each of the last 3 years, maybe even longer for the Bills case. But we saw big jumps from teams like the Patriots, big jumps from teams like Jaguars, Dallas. Dallas is kind of a thing. Like, if Dak's healthy, they're top 10 offenses. If he's not healthy, they're not a top 10 offense. So there's a lot of caveat there. So, the top 10, this is in points: Rams, Patriots, Seahawks, Bills, Lions, tied for the same number of points. Jags, Cowboys, Colts, Bears, and 49ers. What I do want to point out is what's interesting is the Rams, 12th is the Bengals. The Rams had 100 more points than the Bengals. Now, granted, the Bengals probably would have had more points with healthier Joe Burrow. So there's part of that, but we do start to see like these steady drop-offs. So I'd say these, ones in the 470s and above. I'd say actually the biggest gap here is Colts versus Bears. That's a 25-point gap. Roughly we see that gap with the 1 versus 2, but in general, we're talking 7 points, 2 points, the exact same, 7, 8 points, 3 points, 5 points. Like, here we start to see a bigger gap. And when it's 20 some points, that's essentially almost 2 points a game. And, 1.5, 2 points a game. And that matters. I mean, those, and I will give a caveat. These does include like defensive special teams touchdowns. Like, we know the Seahawks didn't have as many offensive touchdowns. We can look at that later in a second as well. So this is a good, I think, base test for what we should think, but we also need to now project what these teams look going forward. One thing I continue to say is the 49ers finishing 10th in points, given all their injuries last year, all the issues, is A, super impressive, and B, they just added Mike Evans. So sure, it's replacing Juwan Jennings, but I think everyone would say that's a pretty big upgrade. There's just a lot to like there. I think there's a lot to like for a team like the Colts, who we know would have ranked higher if not for the fact of the Daniel Jones injury. The teams like, for instance, the Jaguars and the Bears, who kind of started slow but played much better the last 8, 10, and 11 games, is even more impressive, because I think my guess is if you look at what the Bears did I'd have to look this up, but if you look at what the Bears did in the second half of the year and kind of extrapolated that over the full year, they're probably up closer to like Bills and Lions. But there's a lot to look at going forward. And then we have the teams at the bottom, and some of these teams at the bottom we should feel better things about, namely the Minnesota Vikings, having a viable quarterback. Whatever you think of Kyler is going to be a massive improvement. Kansas City, Mahomes not being hurt is going to help, because they barely scored any points those last couple weeks. And then the other thing is adding Kenneth Walker. Washington's kind of in the middle. You're projecting, of course, Jaden being healthier, but they have also currently lost Debo, haven't replaced him, replaced Ertz with Chig, Eckler with Rashard White. So some teams are in between. I think some teams we should expect to go down, like the Cardinals and Dolphins. And other teams that I would be considering more to go up would be the Raiders for sure. They can only go up from here. Tennessee, and the Saints. Saints scored more points per game under Tyler Shuck. I think it was about 1 point more per average than Rattler. So I would hope that continues and continues to grow. Obviously, points are only part of it. Yards are another thing. And then I think more specifically, we can look at top passing offenses and rushing offenses in a second. Total yards, mainly it's the same teams in the top, just a different order. Like Denver cracks the top 10. They weren't anywhere near there for points, but they had a lot of yards. And that could be a sign, particularly with the Waddle move, particularly Dobbins coming back. Hopefully they're not settling for as many field goals. So they because they were so good with yards and they're returning basically everyone and only adding at this moment, that's a promising thing for them to kind of get up into the top 5, top 6 in terms of points. Let me hit up chat and then we will look at it a little bit more. Opening day dailies later in the week. What do I have to offer you to do it? We'll see, Mike. Maybe I will. I could definitely be talked into it. Just going back to BKG's team: James Cook, Scadaboo, Price, C-Rod, Emmanuel, DeMarcado, London, T-Mac, DJ Moore, Metcalf, Naylor, Tucker. I think the wide receivers are pretty strong. You got like 4 in the top window, Naylor and Tucker. So you should get a usable week from the Raiders pretty much every week. I would worry slightly about the running back position, just because, James Cook's a stud. Scadaboo could be great, though it's a slightly risky. I like Price a lot. I think C-Rod is fine, but I want a little bit more certainty, just with only having, especially since it's not like you can always, with only having 6 receivers, you can't always count on having your flex come from the receivers. Like if you had 8 and those are your top 6 and then you had 2 others, you just have more depth to hit that flex. So just if you go back and do it, I would maybe only take like one of those 2 top quarterbacks and another starter, like say, T-Law and Cam Ward or something like that. And then those other like later quarterbacks, just for an interesting mix. And then I'd also maybe move like the Warren pick back to like another tight end in the likely range, and then just have a better running back and receiver combo. I'd probably do it that way if you do it again. So, but I appreciate you sharing. It's fun to look at different builds. Meg checking in. Yes, the new emojis, they are fun. What's your view what the 49ers do with backup running back? I still think as long as Brian Robinson remains unsigned, I think there's a chance he could come back. I'm sure that's not his top choice, but at the same time, it's probably a nice little gig to get a couple million to be a backup on a team that has, real Super Bowl contention upside. I'm sure he's weighing what else is out there for him. If not, maybe they go the Najee route. Najee kind of reclaiming himself after coming back from an injury. That could be a good soft landing spot for him. Jordan James is definitely in the mix if they don't go the veteran route. But I do think that the 49ers probably draft somebody, whether it's 2nd, 3rd round, whether it's 4th, 5th, 6th round, who knows. The other issue with it is we've seen plenty of times in the past where they draft a 6th rounder like Elijah Mitchell, even Garendo a couple years ago, and he ends up outplaying guys drafted ahead of him. Jordan Mason was, I think, a 5th rounder. Like they just routinely can draft late, and sure they have some misses at the running back position. So at this point, I'd take a little Jordan James, not go over the top. But also, I just think they're so live to take a running back in probably not round 2, but 3, 4, 5 for sure. No problem. Taking a bunch of Taysom Hill versus News. Yeah. I think it's good. And And I'm actually kind of with you on C-Rod. DeMarcado, like right now, yes, but again, they could draft somebody. Things can change with that. Yeah. Now Garendo is a special teams player, but I'm saying his rookie year, he worked his way into a usable running back position as a 6th rounder. So draft capital means less than one in general. Kyle Shanahan, Mike Shanahan was the same way. I mean, Terrell Davis, we saw it time and time again where he would take these 3rd, 4th, 5th rounders, 6th rounders like Terrell Davis and turn them into quality backs. Alfred Morris when they were in Washington, it is quite the Shanahan way. They haven't had to do that as much recently with the CMC trade, but it's just, we know we want the backup 49ers running back. It's just right now, I think it's way more wide open. All right, let me get back to just talking about top offenses a little bit, because the other thing is, I do think we need to look, particularly the passing game. And this is, one thing, like another reason why people wonder why I'm so bullish on George Pickens. I knew he'd be back in Dallas. I think that continues. I don't think there ends up being this holdout. Dallas was number 2 in passing yards. And while their touchdowns were lower, that's just a relative thing. I mean, 46 touchdowns is extreme. We don't really see that many times over 40 touchdowns. Usually we're talking in the 30s. Dallas at 31, tied for 5th overall. And if the Rams come back down to earth and the Rams have 38, Dallas, a couple of years ago, Dak led the league in touchdowns. The year that, 2 year, not last year, not the previous year, but the year prior to that. So we know it's in Dallas's game. Do I expect Dak to throw 46? No, but if you tell me that the leader next year is 38 and Dak throws 38, absolutely. So I think touchdown-wise, Bengals being here at 36, given everything that went on with Burrow, and this is also why I'm Chase over Puka, and I've said this before, legitimately everything went right for Puka. He did miss 1+ games, left that Ravens game early and then missed the London game, but everything went right from Puka. Stafford just played out of his mind. At the same time, Devontae Adams missed 3.5 games. And, the 46 touchdowns is probably not repeatable. Can Stafford throw 30, 35? Absolutely. But Chase, everything went wrong with Burrow getting injured. He missed that game due to suspension. Yeah, T. Higgins missed a game and a half, but it's not like T. Higgins missed a massive amount of time. And the Bengals were just right here. A little lighter in yards, but not by much. They were 16 in passing yards, 2nd in passing touchdowns, and that's with Burrow missing such an extended period of time. Yes, Flacco played a solid level, but there was still like a 5-week stretch with Jake Browning, which was anything but a solid level. They had some garbage time touchdowns, but just in general, this is why I'm Chase and why I'm so bullish on Higgins, is because this wide receiver 1-2 combo, I think the Bengals are very live to lead the league in passing, and it's such a condensed offense between those two. Lions, they have another new offensive coordinator. They're still very good in the passing department. Jared Goff is Mr. Consistent, 4,000 yards, 30+ touchdowns. Again, back to the 49ers, like for as much as we talk about CMC, and we'll see this over here, CMC, they averaged only 3.8 yards per carry. The offense was a passing offense, and that was with Brock Purdy missing a significant amount of time. Over 4,100 yards, 33 touchdowns. This is why I think when Jalen Waddle gets pulled up to the top 40, but Mike Evans does not, I just think we're reading this completely wrong. There's just not a path to me for Jalen Waddle to really be a top 40 receiver, assuming Sutton stays healthy. And Mike Evans, absolutely. So, these are some of the things I do want to highlight. And this is, why I'm more bullish on Romeo Dobbs. And even if A.J. Brown comes calling to the Patriots, they were really good. And you say it was a bad schedule. I get that. But also it was a bad schedule. There were games where they just stopped throwing. I think it was the Panthers game They had, I think, a defensive and a punt return touchdown in that game. And Drake May threw, if I'm not mistaken, under 20 passes in that game. And I think he had one in the fourth quarter. So there were a number of games like that later in the year. There were a couple that also fit that bill. So being more competitive, I think, could be really good for Drake May in the passing offense. That's why I'm Drake May above some of these other young quarterbacks, like Jalen Daniels and a few others. Because I think the passing offense is essentially a top 5 unit right now. And, if they get A.J. Brown, it should be even better things for Drake May. This Cardinals one is interesting because what we see here is they absolutely dominate passing attempts, even more than the Bengals, more than all these other teams, and they just weren't efficient. So that's just not going to be the case going forward. The Trey McBride, the Michael Wilson stuff, I think it's being priced in too much that this is a team that's going to throw the ball 40 plus times a game. And to me, I don't see that being a realistic case. So this is a case where I think their offense as a whole goes down, particularly if they're sticking with Jacoby Brissett, and just their passing volume is likely to deteriorate by a good amount. And it's not like Jacoby Brissett, like Jameis Winston has the history of just, we're just going to chuck it. That is not Jacoby Brissett's history. Jacoby Brissett typically is like a 25, 30 pass attempt type game kind of guy, game manager type, whatever. Last year was absolutely the fluke for Brissett. So if he's the quarterback again, I do not think we should expect anything near that. And we do see here, this is where Jalen Waddle was nice because the Broncos threw the ball a lot, but were not super totally efficient. The touchdowns were low, yards were low. Yards per attempt, not ideal. Like this is a pretty good stat, net yards per attempt. There are some better ones, but this can be a good indicator of the quality of a passing offense. So I want to highlight that. And then let me just look at rushing real quick. It can get murky because obviously these include quarterback runs. Also, we see plenty of coordinator changes and things of that nature. Though one thing I like about the Ravens, one thing I like about Derrick Henry is, Bears, Lions are typically high on this list, at least historically had been, particularly if you just highlight rushing runs by running backs. I know the Lions and Bears both use 2 running backs. Currently, I don't think the Ravens are set for that. So I think it's the Derrick Henry show. Henry was great. He got a ton of touchdowns once again. Ravens get a ton of rushing touchdowns. This is their MO. I think that MO can basically stays the same. Obviously, we see some rushing quarterbacks in this mix for the top, though. Also worth noting, Drake May only had 4 rushing touchdowns, 400 plus yards. So a lot of this was, Ramondre and Hendo and little Antonio Gibson. So I think that's promising as well. What is interesting to see is seeing Washington so high. It definitely didn't feel that way. Some of that is obviously quarterback based, even Mariota. So it would just be interesting, what Washington is and what they do at running back. I still don't see it being JCM. So let me get back to chat, and then we'll start getting into drafts and keep talking about top offenses. Real quick, back to BKG's comment, can definitely say 5-6-6-3 team build will demand reevaluation of what you're aiming for per position, like it will polarize taken from low to high amounts from teams. Yeah, I do think you need to be very specific on where you're taking them from and how you're building it. Who do you think could be and this is what I do want to talk about, the 2 or 3 teams that jump in offense like the Bears and Jags have done lately. Yeah, so, and I'll just go back to total points. For me, I think teams ripe for a jump, definitely Raiders and Titans, but I think they still have a ceiling here. Like they could be 20th and 24th, and we think that's amazing jumps for them. 2, a lot of these teams right here, I think, are ripe for a jump. Bucks, but really Eagles and Chargers are the ones that I think we could just see massive jumps from. The Chargers, One, I think they get a much better offensive coordinator mind, a very innovative offensive coordinator mind, also an offensive coordinator that's shown that he can work with less, dealing with Tua, dealing with some of the injuries the Dolphins have had, particularly some of their offensive line issues. The Chargers, if you just isolate the games with Joe Alt, their offense looked really good. And that was without Rashawn Slater. Now they should hopefully have both back. They've added some depth. Hopefully they continue to add more talent and depth along the offensive line. And at the same token, Hampton should be fully healthy. It's another year for guys like Trey Harris, Rondé Gadsden. Hopefully Vlad just has a better year. It's just kind of a weird down year for him. Not sure if they're going to bring back Keenan Allen or do anything more in the receiver department, but I just think they have the quarterback, they have the weapons, they have the offensive line, they have the coordinator. Like, it's all there on paper. And with some good health, they could easily make a jump to the top 10. So going from 20th to 10 could be huge. Like, it's not going to shock me if they literally add 100 points to their total. Another one would be the Eagles. We know in the past they've, I've said it the year prior when they won the Super Bowl, that was a time when Jalen Hurts missed time, A.J. Brown missed time, Devonta Smith missed time, Goddard missed time, and they were a better offense than they were last year. Was it yes, the offensive line was a little banged up. That was part of it, but I do think it was the coordinator more than anything holding them back. Even if they move on from A.J. Brown, I think they can make a jump back definitely into the top 15, and if not in the top 10 range. Washington, I'm kind of mixed on. Another issue they had was just a lack of plays. Very few teams did not have more than 1,000 plays. They were one of them. And that does add up. And Vikings were another. And they I think, can make a big jump as well. Like Jefferson is one of the best receivers in the league. Addison's a good number 2. Hawkinson, Aaron Jones, Jordan Mason, like above average players. Hawkinson maybe even shows potential for more. I just don't know if what we saw last year was really TJ Hawkinson given the quarterback play. The O-line needs to stay healthier, but the Vikings are another one that could jump in spots, I think fairly easily. So one other one that, this is somewhat contingent on Aaron Rodgers coming back, but would be the Steelers. Mike McCarthy historically plays faster, plays better. His years in Dallas, the years with Dak, they were top 5 offense pretty much every year. Is Aaron Rodgers Dak? No. But can they be top 10? Yeah. I think they can make a bit of a jump. And if I had to point to some teams that I'm worried about, a couple come to mind. Seahawks. Not that I think they fall totally out of the top 10, but I think they could plummet down the ranks, losing Kenneth Walker, Charbonnet not being 100% for most of the year. So I think that's a concern. The Colts, I think it's dependent on how Daniel Jones comes back. Is he fully ready to go? Then great. If not, then I think there's some real concern. And I think the Jags, I like Liam Cohen a lot. ETN was a big part of their offense, and I would worry that if the C-Rod and Tootin combo can't handle the workload the same way, then it could lead to a few issues. So Patriots, I think, could fall a little bit, just on a tougher schedule, but I think they're still probably a top 10 team. So let me bring over Underdog and let's get into a draft. Whoever drafts Ty Simpson. Oh, Ty Simpson is not somebody I'm counting on for fantasy production this next year. We got Kicks in here trying out the new emoji. We got JB in here. Appreciate that. TD, Mr. Mufasa. Good to see everyone. Let's get into a draft. I'm going to count it down, get into it, and we can continue to talk about it. Offenses and just everything in general. All right, I will be entering in 10 seconds. Aaron in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, enter. So I think the other thing is looking at offenses and relative to their price. What's appealing for some is of course not that they necessarily have to be a top 10, but their prices seem off. One that I point to with that would be a team. I kind of think the 49ers prices are off. I mean, CMC's a first rounder, and we of course don't know about Kittle, but Mike Evans going 51-ish and Ricky Pearsall now in the late 70s. That feels pretty good. We take two apparently Eagles receivers much higher, and they were nowhere near the offense last year and just probably won't have the volume. All right, I got the 2 spot. We got Peyton Legend on demand. Not sure if he's in chat. That's all I see. Kramer's in here, but not sure if he's in chat as well. Let me know if anyone's in here, but good luck to everyone. I would just take Gibbs, Bijan Gibbs, and just lock and load those 2 guys. Bijan is one interesting one because the Falcons were a very bad offense last year, 24th in total points. But Bijan's role, he almost, set a yardage record last year. So he, I think, is fine. I'm not high on Ty Simpson at all, but do you think the range of outcomes for Arizona draft him and starting by the end of the season? I think there's definitely that range of outcomes, and Jets would be another one. Geno can hold the fort down for sure, but the Jets have 2 second rounders, so I think they'd be very live to do it as well. My just concern is I think he's just such a project. Even if he gets starts at the end of the year, I think it's going to look pretty bad. We saw this with the Browns. Yeah, yes, anyone who starts has an ability to hit your lineup. But people saying that matters more if they hit your lineup and help you advance. Because rarely are they going to hit your lineup and be the difference in a playoff week. So if Ty Simpson starts the last 4 or 5 weeks, like even Tyler Shuck for the winning team this year, he didn't hit. It was Brock Purdy in the playoffs. Now Shuck helped him the couple previous weeks before the playoffs started, because he had some good weeks, but it was Brock Purdy who he needed in the playoffs. So if he had to rely on Tyler Shuck's points, Sam Sherman wasn't winning $2 million. And I just worry that it could be even less than that for Ty Simpson, like 3-4 games max. And, I don't even know. Like Tyler Shuck, for all his injuries and stuff, he was a 25-year-old. Ty Simpson, it's been in college a while, but he's 15 career starts and just been super inconsistent in that time. For me to think that he's going to come in and really put up, if he gets 4 or 5 games, maybe he gets one, 18-point game, 20-point game. Is that enough to really push you through? I don't know. I just think it's a very thin play. We saw this with Shador and Dylan Gabriel. Like Shador had a 20-something, that one game, what was against Miami. I think Miami. Let me take London here. So Gibbs, London, Chase Brown. I typically take over London, but let's mix it up. And like Shador had that one game. I just don't know if that's enough. That just feels thin. Like overall, I want any quarterback who I think starting for any length of time. But it feels pretty pretty thin right now because I think there's only like one or two teams where he even gets a chance to start. Like there's a number of teams who could draft him, who he's definitely sitting. Not only definitely, like he might even sit even if the number one quarterback gets injured. And like the Rams, like if the Rams were to draft him, not at 13, but let's say they trade up for him in the second round or something like that, Matt Stafford could miss the season, and I don't know if Ty Simpson plays a game. They would sign Kirk Cousins. They would go with Jimmy Garoppolo. They would literally put anything else out there as they try and keep their playoff hopes alive over Ty Simpson in my book. And I think there's plenty of other teams like that as well. We got Jordan in. We got Kramer in here. Good to see you. Good luck to you. We got Aiden in here. Good to see Aiden. Dean, next year's quarterback draft class is so good. It's going to be hard for any team not to kick the can down the road. I think that's what a lot of these teams are. Now, this is why I think Simpson definitely gets pushed to the second round, because historically we've not seen second round picks prevent a team then the next year taking a first round pick. Jimmy Clausen didn't prevent the Panthers take Cam Newton. There have been a couple of other of these cases in years past. And not always to work out the way Cam Newton did. But so I think just from a perspective, and that's why I wouldn't be surprised if it's the Jets, because it's like we have 2 second rounders, we got some extra capital to burn. We have 2 first rounders also, so we definitely have extra capital to burn. Let's put them in our pocket. If we end up with a better record this year and aren't in a position to get a good quarterback, or maybe he wows us and blows us away, you kind of just play from that direction. But yeah, I don't think Ty Simpson ends up as a first rounder for that reason. We got Jeff Cooley asking, any UD vets, should we expect any more drafts before the NFL draft? Historically, yes. This year could be different. Little board's feeling a little lighter, in large part because they made it smaller. Not smaller, they made the number of entries. Last year was a 50 max. This year it's 20 max. The big board and bigger board are actually filling at a pretty good rate. But the last couple of years, they've launched something more, and already the War Room's gone off. 2 years ago, they launched the War Room late, but it was a different contest. It was like a $5 contest. Last year, they launched the Little Board 2 late. Their own issues with that as well, but I would still expect something sometime in April, but tough to say. We got Greg checking in. Good to see you, Greg. Yeah, Kramer's in the 5 spot. That won't select enough is moving with the Giants. Yeah, right now I think the Giants' number 2 wide receiver position is pretty wide open. You have Slayton, Mooney, and Calvin Austin kind of in the mix. From money standpoint, you point to Slayton. Mooney has 1,000-yard upside in history. There's also the risk that it is somebody not currently on the team. But Mooney, I think his ability to play both inside outside helps him quite a bit. They did pre-draft Superflex a couple years ago. I will all but guarantee they're not going to do it this year. I'd love for them to do it. I'd love to be wrong. I think if they do something else, it would just be another one. Bench 20-point edge at quarterback where nobody else has that player is very enticing for playoff weeks. Yeah, but so if Ty Simpson is a 20-point game, unless that's just a very low-scoring quarterback week, in the playoffs, that doesn't make you that unique. You know what I mean? Like, raw points are going to matter the most in the playoffs. Like, do you want unique combos? Yeah. But if Ty Simpson has a 20-point game and he's quarterback 10, that's probably not advancing you, because guess what? Then there's a lot of ownership of the 9 quarterbacks above him. And even if it's different, even if he's quarterback 7 and there's 6 quarterbacks above him. So probably just about every other team in your pod in the playoff week has a better quarterback outcome than you, would be what I would be worried about. I'm going to pull up Swift here because I want to make sure I get another running back. Probably could have waited. Because it's not just like a chalk thing. It's just most other, because even if it's other like number 2 quarterbacks who are getting points above them, the Cam Wards, the Tyler Shucks, the CJ Strouds, those guys are going to be just more likely to be owned on those teams as number 2 or number 3 quarterbacks. So you'd need to have like a true ceiling outcome game. Now, if Ty Simpson were to start the first half of the year and, I think there's more value there than the back half or the back few games. Like if he starts a combo games and has a good enough week and that helps push you forward, that ends up being more valuable. For instance, Joe Flacco probably had more value than Tyler Shuck because most of his games were non-playoff weeks. He had a couple solid ceiling games. Though I don't think he ever was like QB1. No, you did. The interesting thing about Sam Sherman's team, I agree. Like most Brock Purdy teams, you needed 2 other quarterbacks. The thing is, Tyler Shuck was not a full quarterback. Neither was Bryce Young. Bryce Young missed time. I'm pretty sure Sam Sherman had a week with 0 points at quarterback position. So very unique way to do it. In general, yes, I think most teams needed Purdy pushed through with 2 other quarterbacks. Ideally, though, it would have been somebody other than Tyler Shuck. Like even a Tua probably had more value than Tyler Shuck for a Purdy team, because Tua, didn't get benched until the end when Purdy was back. I mean, look, some teams can take a shot at Ty Simpson. I just think it's going to be more in the second round. And yeah, he could get some games, but there's just no guarantee that those games equal A, good fantasy production, and B, enough for a team to prevent from, investing in more quarterbacks down the road. Rookie sophomores. Yeah, that'd be fun. There's essentially only like 5 starting potential rookie or sophomore starting quarterbacks, so it's pretty wild. Ladfall was interesting in this one. I don't know. Hopefully it doesn't look like it's shown on screen, but it feels like my Underdog is being very slow. I hope there's nothing wrong with my computer. So far it doesn't seem like it's having any streaming issues. Please let me know. And my just other websites are not working right. So I'm not sure what the deal is. Hopefully it's not an issue. Just wanted to warn you guys. And let me know if you're seeing anything from the stream. So, we'll take Makai Lemon falling a little bit. Okay, good to know, Kicks. Thank you. All right. You know what? We'll double tap that rookie combo. I did a members only video on Tyson yesterday. I think it's very interesting. I think some people are just way too down on Tyson. Like, we knew the injuries coming in. The injuries are already kind of baked into the equation. And it's not a situation like a Jameson Williams where that injury, or even like a Chris Bell, another rookie this year, where we know it's going to impact his rookie potential. Like, could it? Yes. Could his hamstring keep flaring up, etc.? Could he have another knee issue? Yeah, of course. But we're drafting Malik Neighbors coming off a knee issue in the top 20. So it just feels like people are now trying to overcount the injury risk when already I feel it was baked into his initial price. Appreciate that, Mike. Let me go back to the board. Tyson is actually my wide receiver 1, just based on pure skill for a skill perspective. That's where I'm at, FK. I know there's a lot of people like Ian Hartitz in the fantasy space, but what's his name? Former NFL player, ESPN. Name's escaping me right now, but I saw him tweet out that essentially keep in mind, he has everything you want to see on film. The injuries are something NFL teams have to deal with. But let's not scare it away from this guy is the real deal. Wise. Swift or Scatteroo is not how you properly celebrate Meg Monday. No, it is not. Sorry, Meg. All right. No. What do I want to do with these 2 picks? So big run on running back here. Generally as expected, though usually at least one of those guys get back to the 90s. Usually it's Quorum, but the Tyson thing I think is just, let's not overthink it. I'm not going to have 30% Jordan Tyson just where his ADP's at, and even if it falls slightly, but being at the field, above the field, 12% redraft, I think is fine. If the NFL still takes him in the first round, that should be our biggest litmus test for him. Now, if it comes back and the NFL ends up really down on him, then then they maybe see some serious injury concerns. But to me, I'm not going to double count it. So this probably ends up being just a 7 wide receiver team with 6 in the top 100. Do I take the Bears combo? No, I think I'll probably pull up Pollard. Yeah, I'll pull up Pollard. Just give myself out on another potential starter. So, kind of an anchor running back build. Swift is another solid second one, and then Tony Pollard. Very strong wide receiver room. Yeah, there's a little fragility with 2 rookies. I got plenty of vets to cover it. So I think I go just 7 here. It wasn't Nate Burleson. It's former defensive back. He does the secondary Monday night broadcast with Dan Orlovsky. The name is just completely escaping me right now. But I appreciate you jumping in. Oh man, former defensive back. Why can I not think? I think he does NFL Countdown and that kind of stuff. Man, it is. Holy escape me. Neighbors as top 20 receiver really worries me with all the changes to the Giants and his injuries. Yeah. And I definitely see the upside case for Neighbors. I'm the Matt Nagy effect, not great. I would have preferred a more inventive offense coordinator for sure. But the injury thing does worry me. If he gets off to a slow start, and I know, like, Meg and I have had this debate, like, what matters is how he's playing at the end. Yes, but as a second rounder, we still want a guy who is getting us through. Like, you tell me, and not somebody who was close, like a Derrick Henry versus Jonathan Taylor, but Jonathan Taylor was unquestionably the second rounder you wanted and needed to push your team through the playoffs last year. Trying to think of a second rounder who wasn't great during the year but closed strong. I can't think of one off the top of my head, but let's say there was that case where somebody was just the playoff nuts. It's just much harder to push those guys through as a first or second round pick. Like, we need guys to produce throughout the season for the high investments, the high draft capital. Ideally, is it still possible to push a Neighbors team through if he's struggling for the majority of the year? Yeah, but then you just need to get really lucky in the postseason. No, not Darius Butler. Oh man, this is bugging the hell out of me. I have to look it up. Oh my god. But good guess with the defensive back. All right, 6 picks away. Not Woodson. No, it wasn't a star defensive back. Why can I not think of this guy's name? Monday Night Football broadcast. All right, let me make this pick before I figure this out. We'll take Malik Willis. We need a quarterback. Oh, I should have done Brock Purdy. I forgot that I took Pearsall. Let's see if I can get Purdy also. Sorry, I shouldn't be. No, I did not. I messed it up. Louis Riddick. For the love of God. That was way too frustrating. Let's take... I can take a Kenyon Sadiq share. One of them according. No, I appreciate you guys all jumping in. I'm always skeptical of new coaching installs. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of them this year. A ton of new offense coordinators. And we go back to this. I hear you. Mike just feels like one positive report on Neighbors and he'll be in the round 1 pick. Potentially. I know that's where Meg's at. I kind of think he retains, like, maybe he goes early second round, like near the turn, like 13, 14, 15. I don't know. I think the first round's kind of filled right now. Like, who do you push out of the first round? Now that Jefferson's in there, now Lamb, ASB. I just don't know. I actually think, I think one issue that we had last year is we projected that Neighbors would both get a quarterback upgrade, excuse me, which he did. Get a quarterback upgrade, but also retain like a 36% target share. And that was unrealistic. And that's kind of the knock on like JSN. Like JSN and had one of the highest target shares. He still will lead the team, but if he goes from 36 to 31, still a great number, but that matters. And I think that's probably where Neighbors was probably looking at. He probably would have been about maybe a 30% target share. Still very, very good. But it's just tougher for him to pay off that first round price tag attached to not a great offense. He's not attached to Dak. He's not attached to Goff. He's not attached to Stafford or Burrow or one of these top tier quarterbacks. Even what we think about Jackson Dart, the reason we're drafting Jackson Dart in the top 100 picks is because he could get so many rushing points. So it is a bit limiting. Should Neighbors definitely go ahead of London if we get clean reports? Yeah. Should he go ahead of some of those running backs? Yeah. I just don't know if he cracks the first round. Probably just goes to that turn, like that 13-14 range. And sure, sometimes he'll be a 12. But I just don't think it's going to be massive. I agree with this. There is a gap between Neighbors and London, but it's like 3-pick gap, Take Mike Washington here. I'm hoping one of these quarterbacks get back to me. I don't think this guy's taking both of them. I hope not. Ideally Stroud with the Nico, but it's not that important to me. This is an interesting thing, like cool fading it now and just understanding you're not gonna, if Neighbors is just the guy you need in the playoffs, yeah, your big board team's not gonna win. But reevaluating when you get more information. We got Fancy Dog in here, number 17 like. Appreciate that. Yes, it was bothering me so much. And you guys are firing out like quality names. I know I said defensive back, and there's a lot of good defensive backs who work for ESPN, but Louis Riddick. I saw his tweet the other day. That was very fair, and he does a lot of work in like the draft stuff and stuff like that. So I think he's a good voice. I'm still going to be very bullish on Tyson. And probably just because of the fall. Like I kind of said earlier, I'm fine just being kind of 8% on all three of these rookies. But now that you're getting about 20 pick gap between him and Tate, I will probably have more of Tyson. Because Tyson is the one, to me, has the highest upside. Landing spot will be the most important thing. But I think he also has he is the most landing spot neutral because his ability to play all three wide receiver spots much higher than Lemon. Lemon needs to go to a role where they can just prioritize him in the slot. Probably, unfortunately, I'm only going to be able to do one draft today. Usually I like to do two, but I'm dealing with allergies and have a bit of a headache, so not feeling great that I don't think I'm going to be able to push to do a second draft today. I want to, I view this as a marathon, not a sprint. I want to be, able to be back tomorrow, be back Wednesday, etc. So I think I'm just going to do the one draft today, but was glad we could talk offense at the beginning, and appreciate everyone for joining. If you haven't already, please like this episode. If you're not subscribed, jump in for the sub, and we appreciate that. And for this reason, because as Aiden says, we're going to do a 24-hour live stream when we get to 1,000 subs. We post BBM regardless of when we get to it. And Megan and I are starting to plan some things for that, so we're looking forward to that. So quarterback wise, might just take Geno here. And I'm overall out on Woody Marks, but he gets to 170 and I'll take him. And if not, I'll just take Juwan Johnson. I'll take whatever falling value I get there. Let me take Woody Marks. I don't have a ton of him. And I was glad I wasn't taking him before the David Montgomery thing. I still think he can have an okay fantasy role, kind of in the, I think I'm ranked right around his ADP. So getting him around later feels nice. I know I'm going to get yelled at from Meg, so that's the other reason. Second draft sounds like you need to call to the bullpen and get Rudy out here. I mean, Meg wants to jump in. No, I know she can't. But yeah, I took guys I'd never take because they fell so far. Mahomes fell 15, Laporta 14. Wow, that's awesome. I totally feel you, Steve. The oak trees are playing like crazy here, and I've been popping Claritin like crazy. Yeah, allergies. Usually for me, it takes a couple weeks as the weather changes, and then my allergies settle down. But first couple weeks are rough, and the weather going has been kind of a yo-yo here. So I don't think that's helping much. But yeah, Dean, I love getting falls. Same with like Mike Washington, his ADP had moved up, and I have him ranked kind of in the 140s. So I like getting him kind of where I have him ranked also. For Meg and I, neither one of us will be on for the full 24 hours. I'm going to definitely try and push to do, a couple long shifts, maybe like 3 different long shifts to make it like, I don't know, I think I could do 16 hours in a 24-hour window. But I'll probably split it up and get a couple little breaks in there. So I do appreciate Kramer and Dean for joining me in this draft. And just everyone joining for chat. It's always fun talking ball. I believe the Saints could be one of the best offensive target, could be fairly concentrated, and Kellen Moore is rising quickly in there. I think that's a good shout out, JB. At the beginning, I mentioned, I do think the Saints grow. I mean, just even if you look at Chuck compared to Rattler, they produced more in Chuck's games than Rattler's, and it was basically kind of an even split between the two. And also that was without Shaheed. That was when their running backs had gotten banged up. Like there was no Kamara, there was no Andre Miller. So they'd gotten really thin at running back. They lost Shaheed. And yeah, they were still producing more down the stretch. So an 18-hour Cam Scatterby draft mandate during the 24-hour live stream. Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. Greg is in here also. I always forget, Mooncat, right, Greg? We will take Hawkinson here. So thank you for joining me as well. 24 hours of chat work. I'm going to start working on some good one-liners for all outs. Yeah, Mike, if you manage to be on for 24 hours or anything close, that is the dedication we just love to see. Quid pro quo. What's your team name? Appreciate you for joining as well. Speaking of Kamara, let's take a shot. I mean, he's going in the 190s now. He doesn't retire. He's paying off 194. What are we doing here? Thank you. Yeah, I know I've seen you in before, but I just so thank you everyone for jumping in. I really appreciate it. He said he's doing the 0 wide receiver build. Started 4 running backs in a row. I like that. And then hammered, it's been hammering wide receiver. We have Peyton here. That is I want to say Dan. It's Dean. He went with a 2-6-7-2 start with a McCaffrey like anchor and then hitting receiver. Kramer went wide receiver, tight end, and then running back, wide receiver to start. And then Mooncat, I believe that's Greg, 3-5-7-2, a Chase, Etienne, Olave, Hendo. So kind of like alternating start. So appreciate it. Everyone having some different starts, trying some different things. That's fun. And sorry, I'm going to go back to the bottom of the board here. The addition of A-Chain just opens up so much more in the passing game too. Feels like something that you can't calculate will help all the other weapons. Yeah, I mean, and that's my thing is they were pulling off Audric Estime off the street to essentially have any semblance of a rushing game down the stretch last year. I'm still not sold that Kamara is going to retire or anything. So I think it is could be a nice little 1-2 combo for the Saints. Kamara's older, maybe gets banged up again. But overall, it feels very, very good. Exciting youngs over disgusting olds. Your team's sick and you're an RB bully. So I'm 3-6-6-2. I take more Parkinson than Ferguson because Parkinson goes later. But let's mix it up with some Terrence Ferguson as well. I have Devontae Adams, so it's like a team bet. This is more 2 young tight ends, 1 veteran. But I think it's a fun room. And targeting, we don't know Sadiq's offense, but targeting the Rams offense always feels good. Minnesota, like we talked about earlier, should be much, much better and got quite a bit of value there in Hawkinson. And for the wide receiver spot, let's just take a rookie shot here in Chris Brazil. I think we're only going 7 here. My first 6 were pretty great. This last pick, I think I caught up somewhat at running back, but I think I'll target a running back if the right guy gets back to me. I mean, if this whole list gets decimated, then I'll probably go somewhere else. But that's kind of how I'm going to look at it for my last pick. And again, I want to thank everyone for joining me in chat in these drafts. I will be back tomorrow. So thank you guys so much. Peppertone, good to see you. Fortunately, I'm doing 1 draft today, feeling a little between allergies and the headache, just not feeling the greatest. But we talked some offense. We did a draft, so it's been a good stream. We got Tyler checking in. What's going on? Hope you're doing well. Tyler lives. First attempt at 0 wide receiver. Yeah. Meg and I, we did one the other day, like a week ago, where we kind of did that approach. I've done one. There's one this a couple weeks ago. I am Cobra. I did one where I took a wide receiver in the first round, and then the next 10 picks were all running back, tight end, and quarterback. And then my final 9 picks were wide receiver. It was a very tough build, an odd build. And I did it intentionally that way. It wasn't like I kept passing. Like there were a couple times I easily would have taken a wide receiver over a tight end or whatnot. But I did it from an intentional standpoint. I think it ended up being a 3-5, 10-2 team. And, it was interesting. It was an interesting, viable viable approach. You know, I need the anchor wide receiver to pay off. Believe it's Justin Jefferson for it to work. But, you know, the running backs were stacked. You know, 5 running backs to consistently hit the flex. And so then I just kind of need 2 other receivers to step up out of 9 for most weeks. I joke about Meg's auto clicks. Okay, not sure why that wasn't coming up on your own. How much Scaboo, Rogers, and Freiermuth have you drafted? I will look at that after I make this pick. I definitely have been drafting a little less of Rogers. I thought we'd have a resolution by now. So you know, the longer it goes on, the more I get worried. Let's go. Let's go Claiborne. Let's tack on a rookie to this mix. So 3773, Willis Stroud, Geno, Gibbs, Swift, Pollard, Mike Washington Jr., Woody Marks, Alvin Kamara, another rookie in Claiborne. Wide receiver room, super strong up top. London, Nico, Devontae Adams, 2 rookies, but first rounders. Ricky Pearsall, and then Chris Brazell. So a lot of rookies overall on this team, but I think it can still pay off. So let me see here. So this isn't including slows that I have going. I have, I don't know, 15 slows going. No, I want completed draft, sorry. So Scattaboo, 18.8%. Pat Freiermuth, 10%. So Meg would be very disappointed in that. Rogers is probably up there, 13%. So I've been drafting him a little less lately, which has probably also led to less Pat Freiermuth as well. Quid pro quo, anchor wide receiver, next one. That was fun. Nice. Yeah, no, thank you everyone for drafting. It was fun. It's fun seeing different builds. We only, fully go over FanSpeak member squads. Just one of the things we give for them, but I do appreciate everyone for drafting and for having, different viewpoints. It's fun to have different builds. Like if everyone tried to draft the same way every time, it would be miserable. And I think that's the right way to approach it. You see some people are doing, 0 RB, then pivot. You load up on running backs and then, in that room, maybe you win that way. So it's like, zig when they zag. So anyways, thank you guys so much for joining me. I will be back tomorrow, again at lunch hour, hopefully feeling a little bit better. And then I'll be on with Two Hames afterwards. And then, the rest of the week. So appreciate everyone for being in here. Appreciate you for hitting the like button, subbing, and feel free to leave a comment after the show. That helps us as well. Hope everyone has a good rest of the day, and I will catch you next time.